Shut up and refill more popcorn. Shut up and refill more popcorn.
Waka waka, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Shut Up and Refill My Popcorn. And I think I have the wrong background up, but fuck it, right? I'm joined by a friend of the show, co-producer, co-host of the collaboration podcast of Comic Chops and Extra Butter, Mr. CJ Emanuel. What is going on?
That's tremendous.
What's going on, my friend? It's been a minute since we chopped it up, man, but we got a lot to talk about. So we kind of did an impromptu joint. So I'm looking forward to chopping it up. What's been good in Bracketville, man?
Oh, same old, man. Get hot, get cold, get hot again. It's like a crazy ex-girlfriend. The Texas weather. Really nothing much. Work, podcasting, work. The occasional trips to the doctors in San Antonio, which I want to thank the amazing people in San Antonio deciding to all leave at the same time I was leaving so I could spend more time bumper to bumper on motherfucking Highway 90. So round of applause. I know I got one somewhere. Wrong one. Okay, that's enough. What about yourself, sir?
Well, for me, it's been work for real. Remember last time I talked about not having no motivation to get out, and it was in my season. I was in that dark season or whatever. Yeah. But started to come out of it probably about 3 weeks ago, beginning of the month, hanging out at ER. And this cat named Mo Watson was he's one of those cats, like when I first started doing comedy or someone I wanted to have him critique my stuff, but I was still kind of intimidated as asking people to check out my sets and all that, whatever. But yeah, so anyway, about a year and a half ago, Mo went to, he left here, San Antonio, went to Florida, Tampa area, because his father was sick. And so he wanted to, help take care of him and stuff like that. And then his father passed over the spring, and Mo was like, fuck it. I only went because my pop, but now he's gone. I'm coming back to San Antonio and shit. So if it wasn't for him, I would have just hung out there, wouldn't have gone up. And he was like, nah, get your black ass up there. You didn't get them reps up there. Somebody needs to hear. I don't want to hear that. I don't hear that bullshit about you tired of telling them jokes. Somebody needs to hear what you got to say, man. So you go tell your story, man. And I was like, stop being right, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And but it ended up being, it was one of those nights where Elbow was hot,
Okay, yeah.
And those days are kind of more unpredictable and rarer just 2 years later now. Last night was like we were done by like, let me see, we started at 9. I think we were done by like maybe 10:15, 10:30.
Oh wow. So it wasn't like the time I was there, we were done like at midnight or something.
Yeah, where the whole list was full and names were on the side, and Berto's trying to, people are trying to get hookups and stuff like that. Nah, it was yeah. But Elbow's like one of those we were just me and a couple other cats were just kind of going over trying to stay abreast on what the schedule is, because shit changes all the time. Mic will start, it'll get hot, and then for whatever reason we'll stop. Upstage will be on again, off again, on again, off again. LOL's unpredictable as fuck,
Yeah, I saw that they said it was going to be open mic wasn't going down tomorrow yesterday.
Yeah, and I didn't see that until I was in the parking lot coming back down from there and seeing that the doors were locked and nobody was there. I was like, fuck. So
that happened to me. That happened to me.
The only constants since I've been here have been Elbow Room on Tuesday and Tandem on Thursday. Everything else has kind of been coming, hit and miss, coming,
Okay.
So anyway,
let me ask you about Tandem real quick.
yeah.
Since you mentioned it, where is that located? Because I have a buddy of mine who says he lives near Tandem, and he's actually gone on stage. So he was a, I don't hope this ain't insulting, like an amateur. Like he went up and did it a few times, by the name of Lee Garcia. And shout out to Lee.
Maybe if I see him by face, but the name's not ringing a bell.
Yeah, he does. He has a couple of shops there in San Antonio dealing with collectibles, action figures, stuff like that. And a real cool dude, real down to earth dude. And always, it took me by surprise when he told me. I think he had posted something about it, and then I asked him about it the next time I saw him, and he was just like me, man. It was an incredible high the first time being up there, and it's like I gotta do it again. That was fun.
Yeah.
And then, he's there. He lives there in San Antonio, so it's easier for him. At the time I was there living that's about 30 minutes away. But yeah, man, like you hear things, you watch things, and that gives you that itch that you need to scratch it. And it's just, I'm putting a bunch of notebook stuff together and going over old material that I never really used. I just jotted down and building, slowly building to a nice little open mic set. And then when I feel comfortable with it, then I'm going to start making the trip up there. And which sucks because the time is about to change and it's only going to get
weekend, right? That's when we record. It's this weekend. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But,
so didn't mean to.
So you were asking where Tandem is. So it's right there on. So it's on 90. If you take, it's on Roosevelt Street. You take the I think it's a pro band exit. Like you're going downtown, and it's like, like 5 minutes off of the exit.
Okay.
Considered South Central. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense because knowing what where his stores and stuff are located and everything.
Yeah.
Did I even say what kind of extra butter episode this is, or did I just get into the show?
We just started chopping it up, man. We just went over all the talking points in the format, and we just totally just started chopping it up.
Made sure we did our what do they call it? Got our shots in, our moves in with the with the soundboard.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be doing a What's Poppin' episode for people who are new to this type of show. It's basically a rundown of just random things we entertainment wise, news wise, that we are seeing specifically on I see stuff on X or I see stuff on TikTok, and it just, forms an opinion that just, I guess I figure it's like, let me just put it out there, and then, I usually have a guest for these, and, if y'all remember the first What's Poppin', I had the Hitman Mike on there, rest in peace.
Yeah.
And
that guy was over. I love that
guy. And so yeah, I'm sticking, like with the topics that we're gonna get into today, which are gonna range almost in the political realm, but not really. Let me just say this first and foremost. You will vote for whoever you want to vote for. I will vote for whoever I want to vote for. And then we will all just deal with it regardless and just hope that we can power through to the next election year with some young blood. and
we're either going to be socialists or fascists, one or the other,
Yeah, man. We're either with Hogan or we're with
Undertaker,
Mick Foley. You know what I mean? Taker or Foley. So look how I did that. I brought it back to wrestling.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. So so I like when we get together because we have these long ass titles here. So this is a shut up and refill my popcorn, extra butter, what's poppin' my what's poppin' cherry. You know what I'm saying?
Damn,
that's tremendous.
Come on,
I don't think I've done a what's poppin' with
Conan. You gotta keep Conan.
Okay.
Oh man.
All right. So let me. Damn it! I'm all for Clinton and stuff. I'm on the wrong page. Yeah, so this is a shut up and refill my popcorn, extra butter, what's poppin', poppin' my what's poppin' cherry.
That's tremendous.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
And I like that.
I like it too.
So let's get into it. First topic on the top of my head, save the best for last, I assume. Scary Movie is going back to the Wayans. The announcement came via social media, even though Marlon Wayans did say something previous a week prior. I think it was The View or some other talk show that he had a huge announcement, and people sort of speculated, even though they talked about this in the beginning of the year, that they're gonna try and do another scary movie. They're gonna do another scary movie or something like that.
Yeah.
And then for whatever reason, people thought they were gonna drop White Chicks 2 news or something. But
yeah, when I saw your IM earlier today, said, "Hey man, I want to talk about this, and I want to talk about Scary Movie 6." I was like, first of all, I was like, Scary Movie 6, what the fuck? And I was like, maybe they'll, because I didn't know. I was kind of, like I said, my head's in a bubble. So I looked it up. I said, "Oh shit!" So I was like, "Okay, I'm in." And then my wife, she was out running errands and stuff. She came home and stuff. I said, "Baby, you know they're doing a Scary Movie 6." And first she goes, "Oh." I said, "With the way." I'm in. So
Yeah.
that's all you have to say, Wayans, you know. So
hell yeah, you start with that. What the fuck?
yeah, you buried the lead. But
yeah, man, because
so now I'm in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I got hell, back when was 2003 when part 3 came out, right? Or 2004. When they came out and they had no Waynes in the movie, only the Anna Faris and what's her name, Regina Hill,
Yeah, Regina
returning. I was sort of in it, and like I was kind of like, well, what happened to the Wayans guys? And then didn't even think about it. Years later, comes out, it got taken from them.
Yeah.
They had this beautiful recipe, and the studios just said, well, fuck it, we don't need your sauce, we can make our own sauce. And it was never the same. And it even went towards the other parody type movies, the superhero movie. There was epic movie. There was a
teen movie, not a teen movie or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I think that one came before all the other ones. I'm not too sure, but I know, yeah, they tried to use that fill in the blank and then a movie, and then it parodies that genre. How are they gonna do it? Is Smokey gonna be a father, grandfather, like Marlon is in real life? If you know by now, Damon Wayans has a TV show, and I believe they said Sean is writing for that TV show, the
nice.
Papa's House on CBS.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And I like Damon Wayans, man. I was kind of upset whenever the Lethal Weapon show got canceled. And then you start to hear stuff like the actor that played Riggs was kind of like didn't like doing it or something. That's why they kind of killed him off, or he didn't return and all that stuff. But I've always been a Damon Wayans fan. And I mean, Blank Man is the one movie that pops into mind when I think of Damon Wayans, and Mo Money. And
That's Boy Scout.
I mean, that is, yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah.
That was before Any Given Sunday. So
yeah,
I mean, a lot of folks, especially your age, know Damon Wayans from, like you said, the movies Blank Man and Last Boy Scout, and you may know of him from In Living Color, but a lot of folks forgot his stand-up was freaking. He's the funniest stand-up comedian in that family.
That's right. Yeah. And he was on SNL for a little bit.
For a hot minute, yeah, just for like shorter than Chris Rock's run. You know, it wasn't that long at all. Very funny people. Both of their runs were.
He even had the cameo in Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah, I always love that when
he's all
peaches,
sweet,
bananas.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, the Wayans have always been talented. I love the interview Marlon did on Club Shay Shay.
Yeah,
it was very informative, and it verified a lot of things that I had assumed, and just like I grew up watching Wayans Brothers on TV, and you remember me talking about Harlem Heat and the Scotts and the Steiner Brothers. If it had brothers in the title, I was in. I was invested in it because why? These guys are brothers. Like, hey, like me and this dude. This is my brother. Hey, what's up, man? Shout out Jaime. And we grew up watching the Wayans Brothers, and in my head, I was Marlon, Jaime was Sean. You know, Jaime was more straight, and I was more goofy. And God, dude, I love watching the reruns to this day. That you'll see reruns on like MTV2 and other things. But the Wayans Brothers empire.
Oh, yes,
Like,
talk about legends, comedy legends. Rest in peace, John Witherspoon, man.
oh
That
God,
dude,
yeah, bro. Comedy legend.
I used my favorite sports. I get most of my sports from this DC based radio station, WJFK. Well, they used to be WJFK. Now there's the team 106.7 The Fan, and
Okay, yeah.
it's four dudes, four white dudes from DC. They're called the Sports Junkies. They all grew up together in the same neighborhood in PG County, and they're coming up on their 30th year of being not only being in the business, but being in the DC market. So for a foursome to last as long as they had with their contemporaries were Howard Stern and Opie and Anthony and all that. And when Stern went to satellite and they broke up they almost did like territory style with his syndication. So when Stern went to Sirius, he went to Sirius. There was a West Coast market. There was a Mancow had Midwest. What the hell's the rock singer?
Yeah, Mancow.
No, yeah, Mancow. The dude in Philly, I can't remember his name. I'm spacing on. He was a rock singer. Oh, David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth had Philly, and then the Junkies they had DC market. They had Howard's DC market.
Okay, yeah.
They're the only ones that are still around.
Oh wow,
intact. All four are still there. But anyway, so that was a long ass setup to get to my point about John Witherspoon. So, whenever there's a comedian in town, a relatively, like Rich Voss or any like either at one of the DC clubs, they'll do it in studio and shoot whatever. And John Witherspoon and Patrice O'Neal were like their two favorite, just that classic moments. And just not even doing material, but just being funny, And so when Witherspoon died, those guys were like really, really hit hard because they're like really corny, upper middle class white guys and stuff. But they got enough brother DNA being raised in PG County, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I became a fan of Patrice through that show, and I remember when he was recording Elephant in the Room in DC. And he was supposed to just do a segment, but he ended up doing like a whole like hour and a half, just taking calls and shooting shit with the fans and stuff like that. But yeah, so I've always been a fan of this family because I'm like two of my four in my Mount Rushmore of comedians, Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy. This family has direct ties with them. You mentioned Beverly Hills Cop cameo, all that, but Keenan was a writer. He co-wrote Raw, him and Eddie and Robert Townsend, and so
yeah,
they're part of that comedy royalty, black comedy royalty to me. Any direct descendant from that Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy tree, and they're like a major branch, and then they've branched out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to checking out the scary movies. I would love to see Damon. I didn't get a chance to see Marlon stand up live, but I would love to catch these cats live as next time they come through LOL or one of the theaters in town and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Marlon did come through, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. I feel weird about going to LOL because oh man, you can go in comedian, they got you, but I still feel like I'm not worthy, So I haven't tried that yet. So I have the shekels to go, then I'll go. But if I don't, then
too many fucking stairs.
Oh yeah. Oh, they had the up escalator fixed. The down
Oh,
escalator now.
finally? Only
Yeah, the up
yeah.
escalator is working, and the down
Oh, down
escalator is
is
out.
easy. Down is just gravity. Just
Yeah, you just fall down, you get.
man. Um, my chick. This is a sidetrack. First edit. We went to the mall in the River Center, and we were up there for the Comic-Con. And my chick got on the up escalator that was broken, and she just stood there. She, granted, we had the kids with us and stuff, and so she's like trying to wrestle, and she's like, "Why isn't it going up?" I'm like, "These people are walking behind her, like waiting for her to move," and I'm like, I had the cart. Like I couldn't go up the escalator or the stairs. I had to go to an elevator, but I got up on the escalator. I got my ways. And I'm just like, girl, just walk. There's stairs. There's Mitch Hedberg joke, classic joke. Escalator can never break. It can only become stairs. Sorry for the convenience. You know, that's one of my favorites of his jokes. But sidetrack, back on track.
Every time, brother, it's all good.
Also, yeah, where I was going with the whole Scary Movie 6. What is something you want to see them parody? Like now we have a couple of Scream reboots, so they can go back to the Ghostface Killer storyline from the first film, maybe. We also have a bunch of, I mean, we got the Terrifier, very gruesome type stuff. What are some things in like the horror genre? And then we got like the Conjuring stuff like that too, but I'm not too sure if they covered that. Like maybe not. No, yeah, because part 5 they did the Paranormal Activity stuff. So like, what kind of horror genre type movies do you see them parodying? Smile, like film titles.
I could see them doing any of the Jordan Peele, either Us or Them or Nope,
Yeah.
or maybe all of them. You know, something with the monkey or something like that. What's the one? The ones with the nun, not the nun, like the Nun series or something like that.
Yeah,
There's
the
like,
Conjuring stuff, like
yeah,
the
Conjuring,
Annabelle.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be right up their alley. You know, with especially with Anna Faris or something like that. Kind of another Ring. You know how she kind of did the Ring
Yeah.
send up.
Yeah. Do you
But
think they're going to bring them back too, Anna Faris and Regina Hill?
they're probably begging to come, but they probably. I can't. What's the last Anna Faris anything you've heard of?
That TV show, I think that's about it.
Yeah, so it was. So I'm sure they're already signed a contract and they're still writing it. As far as I know, I think they're getting it. They're not even done yet. So I would be surprised if she wasn't in, if one or both. Regina Hall, right? Not Regina King. Regina King, Regina Hall. I think.
Yeah. I get them. I think because they're both Regina. One of them was Craig's sister in Friday, and the other one is
that's Regina
this
King.
lady.
She was.
Yeah, so it must be King. Yeah.
Yeah, she was Marla Gibbs' daughter on 227 back with
With
Jack Hay.
Hay.
Yeah, she was fine.
Oh.
Jack Hay, anyway. So yeah, that's Regina King. Regina. So yeah, I would be stunned if both of them or one of them was not already locked in.
Yeah.
Gotta have her, man. Gotta have her for real.
Going into the sports world, couple things here. What are your takes on the Dwayne Wade? Was it Dwayne? Yeah. The D Wade statue that was unveiled this past week.
Man, my favorite meme is the Han Solo and Carbonite.
Yeah.
And and there was the Power Rangers one. Have you seen the Power Rangers one?
Yeah, where he's Zordon.
Yeah, so I'm a mark for all the memes and stuff, but those are brutal Bob Evans, man. That's man, and
they did him wrong. And he was there for the process. He was there during the whole process.
He's trying to sell it as
yeah. Oh no, my bad.
Yeah, he's trying to sell it as, this awesome piece of work, but man, it's a piece of work, all right. It's a piece of work.
Now, he retired or is he still playing? I can't remember.
He's done. Yeah, he retired. I think if he's not in the Hall of Fame, he should be eligible.
Like a year or two?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think what's his last team? Was it can't remember if he went back to Miami, retired. I don't know. He just kind of bounced around those last couple years. After he went to Chicago, he just kind of bounced around a little bit, and then he was
I'm
done.
trying to think who he played for before the Heat, or did he play with the Heat first?
Yeah,
And then
he was drafted by the Heat and was there for all the championships, all of them, even the one before LeBron and Chris Bosh got there. So the one with Shaq. He carried the team with he was cold. He was a cold player, but he was right in there in between Kobe and LeBron. So two of the most arguably two of the greatest of all time, depending on who or even of their generation or the other generation. So Wade doesn't get enough shine, I don't think.
There was a lot of great players during the Kobe era. I mean, the Spurs had a good lineup.
Oh man!
I mean, obviously LeBron came in 2003, and now he's taking it. Now he's playing with his son, and that's pretty wild. And then the only thing that's playing in my head right now is the 2012 or is it 2013 championship, and how we fucking the only finals the Spurs appeared and lost.
Are you talking about the Ray Allen shot?
To be honest, I think I've buried so many memories of that. All I can visualize right now is the Spurs fan, that fat lady with the glasses, where she's all dressed up. Like, I blame you, lady. You gave us the bad juju.
Yeah, that
because
was
you wanted to pop the so nasty.
Yeah, we got number 5 in 2014, and that was the only odd number champion, or the only even number year we won the championship.
Yeah. And the last one.
It's been 10 years, man, since it doesn't even feel like it's been that long. So we
got ready, bro. Yeah, it's.
I remember the George Gervin year.
Super fast nowadays.
Yeah.
Like I said, in the sports world, do you know who the Costco guys are? Have you heard of these people?
Smart me up on that. I kind of heard it.
They always also I'm assuming, because I'm not really into it. I've just seen them randomly appear on my timeline, and just how annoying they sound. One kid actually looks like my nephew. He does he's a little fat kid, does a little chin thing. So every time I watch him, I can't hate too much on him, because I know he looks like my boy's son. I don't know if they're called the Costco guys. It's this dad who's like, he likes a chocolate chip cookie, and his son likes a chicken bake from Costco. But they always have a thing called a boom meter. So if something's really cool and hip or they're into, then they give it like 5 booms, and they just keep saying boom, boom. It's so fucking annoying. I actually forgot about the Hawk Tour girl. Wow. Because now I'm seeing their stuff. And they were on, get this, they were on Jimmy Fallon night before last. And I've been seeing the video of Jimmy's face every time they're doing their little boom gimmick. And he looks so annoyed, bro. Like Jimmy Fallon kind of making it obvious, like he's getting annoyed by this, this family. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. But
check it out. So it says, all right, so AJ and Eric, the Fumo, the Costco guys.
Someone's called Rizzy, AJ, and it's the dad, and then the other son is something. It's like they have little nicknames. But apparently they're going to show up on AEW, or they have shown up on AEW for whatever reason. I guess the dad's going to wrestle.
Yeah, it says AJ was a former pro wrestler turned mortgage lender. Wasn't finding much traction in TikTok, blah, blah, blah. All right, so this guy apparently has he's taking some bumps, as they say in the industry, in the business.
He's this decade's Ball family. Remember what, I forget his first name, but he's at
LeVar Ball or whatever.
LeVar, yeah.
Big baller, baby. Yeah.
He showed up on WWE TV. Like what?
Yeah. And how they had that guy trying to be the baby face made no damn sense. He was a straight heel, He was on is it Colin Cowherd, him and I think her name was Christine Lacey, I think his co-host, whatever. She and LeVar Ball were going at it.
I know his kids still play in the league, but you don't see much of him anymore. He was such a huge personality. You either loved him or you hated him.
Yeah,
I was annoyed as fuck.
He was annoying. He was annoying from the jump.
Yeah.
From the jump, he
But
was annoying.
so AJ has a background in wrestling and like indie scene or because he's
Probably.
built pretty.
I'm just like Tom Glancy this on the headlines or on the I guess I could have asked Perplexity to tell me about these donks, but I don't.
Yeah, dude. I don't wish that evil on nobody, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, I'm good.
Because it's Jimmy Fallon.
They're already going past their viral expiration date.
Oh, they're hitting snooze on them 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah,
Them and Hawk Tour.
Trying to get that extra, but her podcast is like blowing up, man. It's crazy. I haven't heard a syllable of it. Don't know the name of it, but
I don't even want to see any. I'm probably gonna open my algorithm now. I'm gonna see it on TikTok. But yeah, I don't. I get she's making her money. She's banking on her little incident, and she realized that. More power to her. But you gotta understand, that's like being the famous. That's like Anna Nicole Smith, I guess. Well, she wasn't she was a stripper, but she got famous for marrying an old dude. So that's
she's like a Playboy.
That's right. Yeah, that was Playboy.
Yeah.
All right.
Big old Texas gal.
We're gonna. Oh man, she was a mountain of a lady.
But in her prime, before she got swole up, she was money. Don't get it twisted. She was money.
What was it? Naked Gun. She was in one of the Naked Gun movies.
Yeah,
which is crazy because they're rebooting that.
Was she Ivana Hump a lot, or was she? I
think that was Austin Powers.
Oh yeah. I'm getting it mixed up.
All right. Well, getting close down to the main topic, but before that, let's give a little shout out to Mr. Jojo Feeney with his absurd podcast. What I don't think the last 4 episodes, he had 3 or 4 episodes out or 5. And he's just letting it go, right? He's making some very solid points on all his show topics. One of the things that really caught my eye was just how he started this podcast. Granted, he is known for being the shut up the K100 producer. Yeah, he ain't taking my spot. He also has his creative network and his catalog of shows and people that have come in and out of his podcasting network. And he, I guess, he took the K100 Talks format, I guess, and just said, I'm tired of trying to hold back on my thoughts. Let's shoot it. He has an audience, obviously, the guys that see him and the K100 and even the brand. For me, I just want to say it's about damn time. You know what I mean?
Okay, go ahead.
You know, because he makes some valid points when he's talking with Conan and Disco, and then I've seen him on social media, and you can agree with some things, you can disagree with some things. That's what makes us civil human beings. You can't disagree with somebody and then be like, I'm in and take my ball and go home. Right. I'm very open to other people's criticisms of myself or my opinions. And then, like I've basically, me and my brother, we have different opinions on some things, but we're still family. Right. And so I take that mentality with total strangers too. You know what I mean? Like anybody can go behind a keyboard and be, macho or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's having a discourse on whatever topic it is and understanding each other's sides, proving you're almost like a high school debate. Does that make any sense?
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
You have this discourse, you present your points, and then you listen to the opposite points, and then internally, okay, I get what you understand. I get what you're saying. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense. Maybe it opens your eyes. Maybe you open their eyes, and then you both walk away with your dignity, I guess. I don't know. Like, you don't walk away feeling like
If they disagree, you agree to disagree on some points.
exactly. Yeah.
The things that you do agree with or acknowledge on both sides, either for or against.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to. I mean, I tend to listen to because I want to hear both sides. So, like the most left central and the most right central, and they got to be comics,
Yeah.
So I try to go with Rogan, even though Rogan's getting a little bit more right than he used to be.
Yeah.
And then Mars always been a liberal, but he criticizes. He is fair in his criticism, or at least in his opinion, especially in his opinion.
Yeah.
He has an objective opinion of his own party. He'll criticize his own party. He'll criticize the opposing party. He'll put over what he feels he wants to put over on either side. So those are the type of people and moderators I tend to listen to that kind of pull the who aren't afraid to address the other side, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're just people, and there are things we do have in common, and there's some things. Politics happens to be one of them that we may not all agree on, but you hang around somebody long enough, you'll have something in common with that person, and you find that common ground, and then you build from there.
Exactly.
We cut all
Yeah.
that shit out, man, because that shit is boring. It's more fun to cut promos on each other and get sound bites and sound clips. And Trump called Kamala Harris a moron, and and
Yeah.
Harris claps back on him and does her "oh no you didn't" on him and shit.
Yeah.
But very classically though. So
Yeah. Like,
and that's
we
theater.
can
That's
both.
we're wrestling, the pro wrestling and this shit.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. 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 So you can like put it in that realm of wrestling. Like, this is a baby face, this is a heel. But then time comes around where they flip roles, and now the heel is the baby face, and the baby face is the heel. I mean, perfect example is Miz. How many times has he turned heel, and then how many times has he become the baby face?
Same with
I mean,
Big Show. Yeah, it's
especially
like
with
Big Show versus Miz.
yeah, especially the recent stuff like the R-Truth thing. Like, it still makes me laugh, the little Jimmy shtick that he used to do, and then him getting over being being silly and stuff like that. But then at the same time, you kind of want to see him sock Miz in the face. You know what I mean? Like show his serious side.
Truth is one of those guys that I've never heard anybody say a bad word about. And Vince Russo. Vince Russo too, but Vince McMahon apparently had an affinity to him, that they just got along like that. That's part of the reason why he's lasted there as long as he has. Plus, he was crazy talented. Even when he was K-Quick before he went to TNA and got over as Ron the Truth Killings and then came back. Even when he was K-Quick, you saw some potential there, bro. So he's one of those cats I always, that I root for. He seems like a good dude. Conan and Disco. Conan particularly puts him over all the time, So he's one of those cats that seem like he's that cool for real, How we got to R-Truth. But we just talked about the pro wrestling in this whole,
Finney's podcast.
Yeah.
So he recently came out with the new episode kind of highlighting what the main event is here. The Tony Hinchcliffe joke at Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
Now, being in the comedy world, which is one of the reasons I threw out the invitation, you're in you're in the comedy game more than I've ever been, and probably ever will be if I ever get out of this damn 2-hour trip. Fright. But you're around a lot of people in the comedy game, in the local scene, and even surrounding areas. I'm sure there's people from Houston, Dallas, Austin who swing through and you've networked with, and I'm sure who Tony Hinchcliffe is. A majority of people out there possibly do. I mean, his Kill Tony podcast is very popular. It's one of the main reasons people have been moving to Austin, because they're seeing what could be with basically a quote unquote nobody, and having a 1 minute set and being interactive, being interesting in the interview, and then having a career. And I feel that the crowd sort of knew him, but the people that are talking about it afterwards are completely oblivious to who this comedian is. Um, what is your take on the joke itself? And what is your are you a fan of Tony? Do you kind of like, okay, I get it, but okay, you're like, it's not your taste. Joe even said in his podcast, he understood Tony's, his comedy style, and he doesn't really watch or listen to Kill Tony. And some people do, some people don't. I think Raven was where I first heard of Kill Tony, and like years ago. So yeah, go ahead. Floor is yours, CJ.
Okay. So yeah, I'm very well aware of Tony Hinchcliffe. I think I got familiar with him through the Rogan podcast. And some of my friends in comedy know one or both of them. So some people say he's a great guy and all that. And I have seen, now Tony Hinchcliffe is, his material has always been that shock,
Yeah.
And so my issue with his set, there's a couple of issues. First and foremost, you got to understand your audience, right? And let's get this clear. He had to run his entire set through. It had to get approved by Trump's people before he can perform it. There was a joke my wife was telling me about that they cut involving Kamala Harris because he called the punchline ended up having to do with "See you in Toledo." If you know what I'm talking about. Spells
no,
out
but I'll look into that. Like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. So someone had to approve this set, and to under the guise, free speech and all that,
Yeah.
I felt for a stage that big, and for even though a comic known for being a roast and oh no, you took it there jokes,
Very blue,
very, very blue, almost a purple. But Tony Hinchcliffe has had way funnier racial jokes than this. So he is better than that. As a comic, he's better than that. And I'm in the game maybe like Bronny James is in the game. I'm barely in there. So we're not even on the same level of experience, name, any of that stuff. But I've seen him do better. And I don't know if it's the open mic osmosis that he's getting from the Kill Tony and thousands of comics who get through and they, snap and make fun of the sets and bury them and all that. I don't know if that's rubbing off on him, but he was better than that set, my opinion, just from the comedy part. I was at Elbow Room yesterday. I was like, if he would have done that watermelon joke at Elbow Room last night, Duck Easy probably would have kicked the shit out of him like he did the other white people. I'm not lying, he probably would have. And Jim, other cat. So and Duck was there too. So I'm like, if you want to do those, at the mothership or one, that's fine, bro. But this was an opportunity to tell some funny, the opportunity you could have roasted and all that stuff. I wanted to see him roast, the candidates, roast the issues. Yeah. But I expected better from a name that's aspiring to be. He's aspiring to get to that next level. He's aspiring to get to that Bill Burr, to that to his mentor, Joe Rogan, to Chappelle. He's trying to get to that level. He's trying to even get to the John Mulaney level. And I personally don't think he's there. I think he's stayed in his safe zone because his base was safe. And so let's just go for shock instead of Let's instead of funny. And to
And
me,
it's
that's
good.
the most offensive comedy is to go for the shock instead of going for the funny. And I
And
don't
at
think
the
he
same time, this audience, like I said earlier, they're probably not familiar with his Kill Tony or his type of comedy. I mean, he did get in trouble a few years ago about an Asian joke that he said,
Mhm.
and I can't remember the joke but it had to do with an Asian comic, and he got so much flack for it, but he's overcome that.
He had better
Granted,
jokes at
maybe
the Tom Brady roast because that was the perfect environment for that. You know,
yes, he didn't have that wasn't the same environment, and I mean, Jon Stewart even talked about it on the Daily Show Monday night,
yeah,
and
I heard Jon Stewart's take on that as well. But
it's funny how it doesn't really matter what the Republican side does; they're still going to be labeled a certain way by the Democrats to the point where everybody is saying the same thing, and by everybody I mean every celebrity. You can't even have a picture with Donald Trump without being, I want to say, judged or falsely labeled. Like Taker had Trump on his podcast, sent out a picture with, I think him and Kane were sitting with them, or they did a video about talking about but going one on one with Batista, like throwing that wrestling angle out there.
right. Yeah, now
And
that
then
he's all skinny, now they want to talk shit. Now they want to call out Dave Bautista. Now he's all old
now
and skinny looking.
I can take him.
Yeah.
I can take him with
They
one
want no
arm
parts of Drax
tied
the
behind my
Destroyer.
back.
They ain't want no parts of the
It'll be great.
animal Batista. No.
I'll get Kevin McAllister to come tag me in. It'll be awesome. Worst Trump impression ever. Boo. Mick Foley comes out, and not only does he come out on social media and puts out a video, he comes out on a news station. Oh damn. He comes out on CNN, I think it was. And I think I talked a little bit about this on the last Extra Butter or the early this month, where the Shazam actor comes out to endorse the Trump for president only because of who he has, which is crazy because a lot of people who are doing that like who Trump is putting in his corral of associates.
Mhm.
RFK, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Um,
Tulsi, they got Tulsi Gabbard. They got my girl Tulsi, man. That's who
yeah,
I
yeah,
was.
yeah.
That's who I was
And
in for the last time.
and but now they're quote unquote canceling the Zachary Levi. But how many celebrities came in and backed Kamala Harris and nobody bats a fucking eye? Nobody, you know, it's like the what's that child when someone say make fun of me, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say to me bounces off me and sticks to you, that type of deal.
That's sad that
Yeah.
that they don't even. Cause used to say that all the time when we were little kids, but now it's like
Yeah.
you barely, you barely got it out. It's like, is it rubber glue? Stupid. But yeah, that used to
The
be like
hypocrisy.
default.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, the funny thing I saw was Beyonce and Kelly Rowland, right? They came out at a Harris rally. Kelly Rowland looked like Beetlejuice. She was dressed up in a striped suit. And then people got mad because Beyonce didn't sing. Like,
There's so much
what?
this faux outrage, vegan beef. Conan likes to call it, and it to me, it's like when
It's
it gets
just,
to that, it's like, okay, now what are they distracting us from? What laws are getting passed that we're looking the other way because we care about this terrible open mic set that that the comic who should have known better, who should have done better, to me, he dropped it. To me, he dropped the ball. He didn't make a statement.
that
He didn't make a
that
statement.
too.
It wasn't a stand up for free speech. This low hanging fruit, open mic 101, barely.
it wasn't his Kill Tony audience. Let's just put it like that. Yeah,
Oh,
obviously
I
there's a
think
lot of
but the
people
thing
there.
is, Yeah, but his set was a Kill Tony set from the open micers. You know, not from an established comic, not from a veteran. You know,
Don
respected name.
Rickles. Yeah, if Don Rickles, rest in peace, was alive and was on the stage, probably would have killed, but probably would have said something. They would have come back and turned against him, saying
Don Rickles worked. He didn't do none of those jokes for President Reagan. He still got over.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. It was Reagan.
Yeah, he got over in front of on that stage, and that was Hinchcliffe's chance to Rickles, and he didn't.
Yeah,
my opinion.
Yeah, but the set itself, maybe take a couple more things out and replace them with something a little bit for that audience, and then the other thing is just the news correspondence blowback and the over exaggeration of it, and then everybody being labeled a Nazi because they're, and it's just so
if it was Dave Chappelle doing it for a Kamala Harris rally, and he was cutting white people trans jokes and stuff like that. Well, I mean, he already went through it before. It'd be the same thing.
It wouldn't have been a big deal.
Full outrage over. I'm outraged over the bad jokes. That's where my outrage is. I've seen some open micers last night, first time on stage, better material than that. Anyway,
wait till you get a load of me.
Yeah. Local nobody slams Tony Hinchcliffe. No one cares.
CJ's gonna come out on social media. Yeah, I'm no longer associated with the Extra Butter podcast anymore.
Yes, I have been canceled by Butter.
I'm canceling Butter. I'm eating straight, no seasoned popcorn.
Can't even have. I got so many crowns in my mouth. I can't even eat popcorn no more.
Oh shit. The last thing is still sort of political, but it's on the cusp of the whole podcasting and politics. So the Harris demands for Joe Rogan. Have you seen those? Have you heard of those?
You said the Harris demands as far as
for being on his podcast.
I agree. She should have been a guest on his podcast. He would have been fair. He would have was what I like about Rogan. He expresses his opinion, but he, like Bill Maher, will listen to the opposition and agree where he feels that there's an agreement and common ground, but ultimately he'll give his, lack of a better term, the respect, and they have conversation. And
you saw that she demanded, right? Like she wanted him to travel to her and then do a 1 hour conversation and that type of deal. Like it doesn't work that way on Rogan,
that wasn't a good look. And she's trying to campaign in Texas. Texas is like, I mean, other than Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, Austin, blue cities, damn near everything else is red. I mean, I don't know about El Paso. El Paso blue or red, I don't know, but
I don't know. But if she really wanted to get the Texas vote that bad, campaign on the border, and go down to Brownsville. Man, hell, get you a couple margaritas in South Padre, girl.
Even better,
Go see a comedy show. The over there at the I forget the resort's name, but Raymond Otra, the Hispanic comedian,
whatever it is,
Laredo, Eagle Pass. I mean, y'all came to Eagle Pass because that whole thing, and yet this is basic, quote unquote, this is our mess. I mean, immigration has been a huge thing for the past 30 plus years, but now it's the white head is ready to pop.
TDA is here,
but she wants to be safe in Houston, and
I take my chances here in San Antonio before I take my chances in Houston, just on a daily basis. I'm just saying.
You better wear an Astros hat. That's all I'm going to say.
You better. Kevlar's.
But yeah, man, it's every election year is just it's like a full moon, man, bringing it to the werewolf lore of this month. is just it brings out the crazies in out of everybody. You know,
there'll be a loud vocal minority that's outraged at the result, and there'll be a loud vocal minority that's elated, and our savior has come, no matter who wins or loses this nonsense. Both sides are going to contest it. It's going to be, if Kamala loses, then Trump is going to bitch. If vice versa, all the way up until January 20th.
It's like dealing with toddlers with the last churro. Everybody wants the last donut, churro, ice cream cone, whatever. And the person that doesn't get it is going to cause the biggest, fit. And everybody behind that person. And so I don't know if you ever heard how Ben's solution. He thinks president should be one term, 6 years. In, out, bye.
I like Stevie Ray's suggestion to just
hit him with a blackjack.
Blacktown. And we just go to Wyoming and whatever. You got to be invitation only. Yeah.
Man.
Contingency. But I went and voted last night, or not last night, but yesterday afternoon. Me and Tiff went and got our early vote in just in time, because that line got crazy around noontime. But so we got ours in, and there was this one state candidate. Hey, vote for me! If you vote,
he was there.
Just one red vote. Let it be mine. I was like, you just assuming that I know I look like you don't know which way I'm voting, but
it's gonna be wild. A week from today of this recording, which is Wednesday, we'll find out. And then
6 days.
The circus continues. I just hope and pray that everybody out there has some common sense and doesn't overreact, and just take care of the real important stuff. The people in your house, your neighbors, your friends, your family. And don't kill each other at Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Because politics is so divisive, and it's just, we saw 2 movies come out. Well, I don't know. I'd say 2. I think one of them was about a family after election. I forget what it's called. And then the Civil War movie that came out, I don't know. I've seen things about it, but I haven't really watched it. So it's one of those things I might plan to watch in the future. But
what's that? No, what's the Civil?
The one. You know who the actor Ike Barinholtz is?
Yeah.
I used to be on Mad TV. Yeah, he was in the movie. I think it was like a dinner. I forget the name of it, but it was like The Decision. It came out a few years ago.
Okay.
I think right in the middle of COVID, maybe, I think. But it had the sense of like, oh, you're gonna vote for Trump or Hillary, that type of deal. And then the family didn't. They would kind of butted heads and something like that.
Okay.
I can't think of the name of it, but yeah, man, this topic sucks. What is something we can talk about? Let's end on a high note.
Well, so as we end on a high note, I want to take it down a little bit more. I want to condolences to Mrs. Pangilinan. So Jesse Pangilinan was a stand-up comic, a veteran stand-up comic, well-established name, worked with some of the greats, the Paul Rodriguez's and the George Lopez's, and even the Carlos Mencia's. He had some stories about that. Oh yeah, that was a motherfucking joke thief. So, and Jesse was one of my mentors last year when I went through the 3rd Upstage comedy workshop. This time I was like a graduate assistant on the one that Jesse was the lead. And that was like his last tie to stand up, because at that time he had just retired from stand up due to health issues. He had both of his legs amputated, and had all kinds of kidney issues and stuff like that. But about maybe few months ago, about 3-4 months ago, he started posting on Facebook again. He had gotten new prosthetics, and he was a like World Series of Poker level Texas Hold'em player. So him and his wife would always go to Vegas. Shout out to, he was a big Raiders fan. Shout out to Harry Ruiz, you know. But yeah, unfortunately, he lost his battle with just multiple health stuff. He's going in for a transfusion, and blood pressure dropped, and he was like just about to come back. There was this big Upstage Comedy had this big award show for stand-up comedy. Shout out to Alvin Perry, who won Comedian of the Year. Shout out to my buddy Ryan Herrera, won Hustler of the Year. Shout out to Drew Blues for winning Most Improved of the Year. That mug has been on the grind. Shout out to Drew Blues.
Oh, yeah.
But Jesse was he was getting ready to put some material together. I was talking to my buddy Norman. I don't think you met Norm. You might have met Norm last time when you were here. I can't remember. He looks kind of like Lewis Black, kind of very like dry humor. But anyways, him and Jesse actually started comedy about 20 years ago. Norman went a different route, and Jesse went comedy. But yeah, he was just saying that, he had just talked to Jesse maybe 4 days prior to him passing, and he was just like so excited, looking forward to the show, looking forward to the awards ceremony. He was going to get like a lifetime achievement, award and stuff. So there's going to be a memorial for him at Upstage. I think Norman said on the 17th. Just follow me at CJ Tells Jokes. I'll post stuff out if you're in the San Antonio area, if you're a comic or want to be a comic. And I said all that to say that, like, maybe a month ago, the thought crossed my mind, man, I just need to hit Jesse up, see how he's doing, man. Thank him again, for helping, just giving me good advice as a comedian, giving me good life advice. We're close in age, even though we were miles apart in experience. He was in his early 50s. I just turned 50, so we were roughly the same age. So yeah, that one hit me a little hard, man. It's like, last year it was or the beginning of the year, it was Israel Garcia, who lost his battle with pancreatic cancer, 34 years old, and was just about to go national. He had put his time in. So, and he's actually got a YouTube special out. So check out Israel Garcia comic and give his fucking funny too, man. And just seeing him, some of the jokes that he did in that special, and seeing him work that out, the little bit of time he was able to work out was like, hit me like, I was like, you motherfucker, you got that joke in,
Damn.
His Chinese joke. He's like, fuck it, I got cancer. Really?
Yeah.
Man. So yeah, so it's like this comedy thing, man. I've barely known these guys. I'm barely doing it 2 years and stuff. So there are people who know these people very well and are taking these losses a lot harder than I am. And I'm taking them pretty hard and stuff. Pause. So
yeah, because you met these people, you probably sat around across the table, shooting this shit. You get to know, like when Mike died, it hit me kind of hard, because it was just, I regret not reaching out as much as I should have.
Yeah.
Every time we did link up, I was like, before we hit record, I was like, hey man, how you doing? I know there was an incident one time. He was in some sort of transport to like a doctor's appointment or something, where they take you to appointments and stuff. And the driver broke kind of hard, and he kind of fell in the van or something, and he hurt himself a little bit, and he was, he would vent about random stuff, and from time to time he would send text messages, see how I'm been, and then I'd always send stuff back. I'm like, hey man, you got your setup ready to go yet? Because he wanted to have a good little setup for whenever we did do like a video chat Zoom call, that it wasn't complete darkness, or he had good lighting. And then I just remember I was coming home. We were coming home from somewhere, I think San Antonio, and we stopped at McDonald's, give my daughter something to eat, and I got a text message from Potts, the other gentleman that had a podcasting podcast with show with Mike, and Potts has been on a couple episodes with me, and he randomly we had talked about I think we were going to do something about the Penguin, or one of the shows that was out, but yeah, he randomly messaged me, and I was kind of like, something happened. Automatically, just I never met Mike in person. Maybe knew him for the last 2 years, off the brand and everything, and it I wouldn't say it wakes you up, but it kind of opens your eyes that tomorrow's never promised.
For sure, bro.
That's that's why I like when JR says today's the present is, or because it's a gift. It's called the present because it's a gift.
It's called the present.
And when I close out the podcast, take care of yourself and the people you love, because you never know. First times I regret arguing with my brother, and leaving it like that, not speaking for however long, and then something happens and we both kick out of it and be like, oh man, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, I've got a few.
It's that type of
deal that we're on the outs, we're estranged and stuff, and it's like, I don't know. I regret if you get to a day where I can't resolve those things. We didn't get a chance to it. So I think about that all the time, Yeah. But then I'm also my own stubborn. I'm right, even I may or may not be right.
Oh, we're all right like that.
And
sometimes our pride gets the best of us, and then you're sitting in a room by yourself, random thought pops in your head, and you're like, fuck, I was being a jackass. And then you hope and pray, you reach out and you ask for forgiveness that it's no big deal. Like, all is forgiven type deal. Or they might say, no, fuck you. They might reflect that that disdain, and then who knows, maybe a year or two later after that, they come back and say apologize, and then y'all meant to, you never know. That's what I'm saying. It's like having bad karma isn't,
Yeah, I'm
I believe I usually
that shit.
Yeah, believe in karma 100%. Who likes boobs?
Who doesn't? What are you talking about? Huh?
I'm drawing a blank. How can we end on a high note? What? So you said you're getting back in the flow. What is on the horizon for CJ Emanuel, Comic Chops, and the open mic scene? I saw you have a show coming up too. Or did it pass?
Yeah, it just passed on Friday at the Mexicana. Shout out to so that's normally a show that Drew Blues hosts late night 10 p.m. at the Mexicana. Good ass food, man. Shout out to Ed and his wife, co-owners there, man. I forgot her name, Rena or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, they treated us really well. So Cousin Berto was the headliner. Shout out to Cousin Berto. He's the one who runs the open mic at Elbow Room. So Berto's been one of the cats that's been real instrumental helping me like that in this comedy game. So he was the headliner, and then along with myself, there was my buddy Tiger Ruiz. I don't think you met Tiger either.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
I know he was scheduled. We were scheduled to do an extra butter episode, which will be pushed back to next weck. But I want to say he looks familiar. I want to say I've seen him before, but he may just have one of those faces. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think when he was over the summer, I can't speak, about 6 months ago when he was in his stride. I think he worked with Raymond Orta down at the Padre,
South Padre
at the Regency at the resort. I can't remember the whole. Is it Grand Hyatt? I can't remember. But right, the one on South Padre,
Grand Isle, something like that. Yeah.
So
I want to say I saw him so when I was doing the open mic weekly that summer 2 years ago. I want to say he had shown up maybe once or twice.
Yeah, because he'll normally do a set early and then roll out because he's family man. He's got to get up early. I think he gets up earlier than I do. I get up at like 6, and I think he gets up earlier than that on his Joe job. But Tiger's a good dude, man. It was good to see him again because I hadn't worked with him in a while. I hadn't seen him in a while because at first he was working all over town, all over South Texas and stuff. And I was kind of just languishing, and then life kind of just hit both of us. We'll probably get into that more when we talk to him. But so that smash cut to this past Friday as we record. It was good hanging out, chopping it up, and performing and sharing the stage with him, man. So Sam, cousin, but then this cat named Alex Faircloth. He did a he wasn't featured, but he just kind of showed up. But he's a funny dude, man. He's got some. You've seen him. He's a big, tall, skinny guy. He's always wearing a suit. Kind of guy.
Okay, I think so.
Yeah. And then we had Miss Jasmine Birch, who's a brand new comic, but just from the time I last saw her was probably at either Elbow Room or Tandem. And just to see where she's gone, just comfort wise. Now it helped that the entire audience was basically her family. We had like 7 people in, but them 7 people were laughing their asses off, and we popped up and hung out with them after the fact and stuff. So she has a real nice family. So it was a great time. And then the whole thing was hosted in Drew's place because Drew had some gigs out of town. I think he hit Vegas. And then he's got some shows down in Laredo and all over the place. So Evan Grabenstein, aka Grabby, was the host, held it down. Shout outs to Flash Laughs Entertainment. They book shows all over San Antonio. They have an open mic on Sundays at the Lady Bird, which isn't that far from Lucky Duck and all that, over there by Incarnate Word, off of can't remember the name of that street. But
Broadway or something?
Yeah, a little bit past Broadway. Like if you're coming down 281, going towards the Alamo Dome.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's the Incarnate Word exits. It's not Probant. It doesn't matter. It's minutia. Somebody from San Antonio listening to this like, no, motherfucker, it's this street.
And comment on the comment section. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, it's over there. So yeah, man. So that was like my first gig really since August, man. I did a show right after my birthday at Tanks. I have a tentative one for the 23rd in Austin. My buddy Norman was putting me up onto that. It just kind of depends on how my wife's how she recovers. She's got a procedure next week, and I'm taking some days off to be Mr. Mom and all that and help take care. So if she's good after 10 days or so, then I'll be in Austin. If not, then I'm probably then it'll be maybe December or January. So as of now, I got a tentative on the 23rd. So just stay tuned at CJ Tells Jokes, and I'll be posting shit there. Probably post shit on my Comic Chops Facebook page. So just think about changing that to a group. I don't really know the difference between group and page and getting the interaction. So thinking about
group is like a culmination of just, I guess, people. I don't know. That means And I know there's a difference. The page is like a brand's Facebook profile. but
Yeah,
it's
so
for brands or for And I think
so I
that's
have
what
friends who follow and they post their gigs and all that stuff. That's cool. That's what the page is for. But if I create a group, I don't want anybody posting like flyers. I'd rather you post videos, either funny skits, sketches, and all that, or stant clips of your stuff, or wrestling fan stuff, or comedy stuff. So I'm kind of putting together a little group idea and to get some interaction.
Page, I think groups, groups, you'd be able to post it. It'll have, so let's say it's Comic Chops, the group page.
Mhm.
It'll have Comic Chops in your profile, and then right underneath it, like little letters, Nicho posted, or it just have my name and I guess a little my profile pic, little smaller than the main one. Because Get My Goes group is kind of like that. Like I'll see a post on there and I'm thinking it's Durbin, but it's actually somebody else.
Yeah.
That type of deal. But yeah, man, like I said earlier, I'm getting the itch and kind of bringing it back to the Kill Tony. I'm watching a lot of Kill Tony and listening to a lot of Joey Diaz and Joe Rogan, and just when they talk, when Joe Rogan has comics on that he's done shows with and stuff, and their friends and whatever.
Yeah.
And they talk about the open mic scene. They're in Austin now, and they talk about just the science of comedy. It really interests me, and it really makes me think, okay, if I have this mindset going in, then maybe I can write this little joke a little bit better. And then, and like I said, I found old scrapbooks, and I'm bringing them out, kind of tweaking them a bit, and then just literally writing in notebooks, and then taking that to my notepad on the phone. That way I have it digitally and I can look at it, instead of, oh man, like if I can tweak it here, tweak it on analog to digital, that type of deal. But I like today would have been perfect to go up green, being the last sunny 7 o'clock, sunny 6 o'clock.
Yeah, right.
But
already getting dark and stuff.
Yeah. And so, yeah, man, I mean, maybe I don't want to wait till another spring break, but if I can get out there and maybe just go hit up Elbow Room. Hopefully, I always thought that Elbow Room was always like, oh, we get done at midnight. But if it wraps up a little quicker, but at the same time, just getting those reps in.
Yeah.
Okay. Even if it's in front of the other comics that stayed and having a drink, watching whatever TV, I'm getting the reps in. I don't have to worry about the reaction.
If you're coming in from out of town, we just give Berto a heads up, and he'll get you. He'll bump you up. You know what I'm saying? You won't have to wait all the way at the end and stuff. He said, "Hey, I'm coming in from Uvalde, and I got to get up early." And he'll probably work with you and bump you up, man. So just keep that in mind. When you come through.
All right. Yeah. But like, yeah, I'm still. When was it? March, right? Yeah, it was almost over 6 months. Yeah, that came in.
That's about right.
So I need to rewatch. I need to rewatch that recording, and I need to rewatch the stuff from 2022, and then yeah, man. Hopefully, it did. I guess I'm not expecting to kill, but at the same time, getting some sort of feedback from anybody. I mean, I got feedback from a buddy of mine. Yeah, just get them in. Just get them in. Get in, and it use the same set over and over again. Instead of like doing that. Oh, come up with another 5 minutes or another 3 minutes or whatever. But you live and you learn, and I mean, I'm seeing what you're doing. I'm seeing what Drew's doing. Ryan is killing it. I only met him that one time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, man, just seeing y'all do y'all's thing. That the group, the comedy groups that you put me in, it's so cool to see that community and see people's flyers, and then see people talk about the show they did. I forget the gentleman's name. I think he's Indian. Chandra Murthy.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually. I got a picture of my first open mic at Elbow Room almost 5 years ago. It was I think it was New Year's Eve, 2019. Um, and so it was me, Chandra Murthy, and this other comic named the Mac. Real cool brother, man. Funny dude, man. Just naturally funny dude, man. So it was. I think in the crowd it was like 3 people. You know, Irma Louise was the host and stuff. You know, and she was like, "Hey, you got some good stuff, but you talk way too long, mijo. Oh, you talk too fucking much. You need to get those last per minutes. You know, last per minute. You know, that's the first time I heard that as a thing. And so yeah, I've worked some shows with Chandra. Man, he kills, and he's got an hour. He's got at least an hour clean. He's tight. So you ever hear that name, you know, I was not at 7-Eleven. I mean, I was not there at 9/11. I was there at 7-Eleven. I'm butchering his joke, but he tells it better.
I saw that Drew. I think Drew's going, or he has been. I have to look at it. Eagle Pass, but I know he was there in Uvalde a month or so ago.
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to go through, but I think he's coming into Eagle Pass to the casino down there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
With who was the comedian? That's it's slipping my mind. But yeah, man, just seeing everybody out there, and you know, when you bring them on here and we chop it up, I'm always interested in their story and like how they.
I want to get more of my friends on and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting Tiger on because he's a family man too. So most of his material is as a young, you know, you guys, are you guys millennial or you guys are
millennial.
Yeah, so like
right before Gen Z.
Young millennial / old Gen Z fathers, and you know, with kids, you know, marriage and all that stuff. So he's got, and some of the new stuff that he was working on Friday was hitting. So I'm looking forward to seeing Homeboy get out there, man. So I wanted to shout out. I shouted out Berto, and I shouted out I'll shout out to Bobby at Upstage. Shout out to Clifton Simmons, who runs the open mic at Tandem. This past weekend, he actually opened and did like the warm up for Gladys Knight, and so that's like a big, you know, shout out to him, man. He's that Gladys Knight, the Gladys Knight. So shout out to Clifton, big supporter, you know, of stand up comedy in this town, and he'll get you time, you know, but you got to put in the work. You know, he did his shit the old school way and busking and hitting the streets when it was River Center Comedy Club downtown. You know, he goes back to those days. He's come up the old school way. He's not one of those I just do everything on Facebook guys like we do now. You know, so he's got the work ethic.
Yeah, so, now it's what Improv River Center, Improv San Antonio, something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
River Center Improv.
Yeah, I was already.
They don't have open mic down there, do they? They don't have open mic down there.
Oh no, that club is closed. Yeah, so that club that used to be that was like the Laugh Out Loud before Laugh Out Loud.
Yeah. That's right. That was the one club I went to early for an open mic, and that's when I can't remember what I did, what I said, but I remember I went there with my buddy Mark, and I just remember when we left, and I know because I wasn't driving, I was a little buzzed. Some guy kind of grabbed me by the arm and was like, "Hey, tell your friend that, you know, it was all right. Just keep working at it." And then I can't remember what he told, but I remember he had more critiques for him than me. Yeah. And I just remember thinking, do I let him down? Or just oh, you did great, bro. You didn't know. Perfect set. And I remember just thinking that until we got to the Whataburger.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're already hitting an hour and a half.
Oh wow.
I'll probably drop this full episode. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
If I do decide to edit it down, it's just gonna take longer. This is coming out this Friday. But I appreciate you coming on and chopping it up with me, bro. And that was my main thought was, if I talk about the Tony Hinchcliffe stuff, I got to get your take on it. And I think we had a very good conversation about all these little random what's popping topics. And we didn't have no run-ins. Joe Feeney, it's cool. It's all good. But yeah, guys, go like and subscribe at CJ Tells Jokes on all his social medias, the Twitter, quote unquote X,
everywhere,
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. You don't stop. I am at Shut Up Popcorn in the same social medias. And remember, if you ain't laughing, you ain't living. Take care of yourself and the people you love. Nanu nanu. Peace.
Take care, everybody.